404 horsepower, engine designed by Ferrari, sound of the most heavenly V6 twin turbo ever. Why do people hate this car so much? I don't know, but let's get into it. Let's find out. It's Stephen here from Mod2Fame. Let's go. Yo, what's up everybody? We back with another one. These videos are starting to come in fast and furious, no pun intended. Today, we taking out Eugene's 2017 Maserati Ghibli. Mr. Cool himself walking away from the machine. Yes, I know. There's like so much up and down about this car. Like people that have them, driven them, have experienced them, love them. And then it's the people who don't, who look at a couple of videos on YouTube, not gonna say any names, Doug DeMiro, who make these like really bad claims, which has some truth to it, right? The reason why I specified though 2017 is because Eugene, this is his second go round at a Ghibli. He had the initial one, the 14 when it came out, and now he has a 17. Well, why is that important, right? They made a lot of small changes for 2017. They changed the instrument panel, which is now this full big screen. They revised the suspension to rework it. The 14 had like it was good, but it had like slop in some areas. And in addition to that, they really just tidied the car up. A lot of little things that it had, quirks and issues that it had, they addressed it with the 2017 models. So the 2014, yeah, that car, the first year that it came out, probably wasn't the best example, but I mean, it was the first year. But now this 2017 model, this car is pretty damn nice, man, for, you know, someone using it as pretty much their daily, like Eugene is. When I say it's pretty nice, I mean it. Like the interior wise, the materials actually feel a little bit better. Not necessarily, I don't think they really did much with the dash, but it feels like they might have did a little something with the seats and stuff like that. Let's start out with the interior, right? The dash layout. If you own a FCA product like I do, Dodges, you will notice that the entertainment system is basically a reworked Uconnect. The steering wheel is also quite similar to that of my Hellcat. It's different, but you can feel the similarities. Let me tell you why it's a good thing that they use these systems. So not only does Maserati do it, but Ferrari does it too. You go and look at a newer 488, you look at, you know, any of those cars, you'll notice that it's just a reworked Uconnect system. And that's because it works. So as long as it works, that's all that really matters. I actually like the fact that it does that. But I can say, yes, there are like some small things. The gaps in the doors, they still didn't fix that between the door panel and the B pillars. Yes, that gap is still there. Yes, you can still see the color of the car from the interior. Are those the best things? Absolutely not. But the materials are really nice. The wood grain in this car is exceptionally nice. And just the overall driving dynamic, I love it. It's good. If I had to give the interior like a rating on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably say overall, I would definitely give it a strong 7.5. Strong, like really good. And 7.5 is actually not bad, right? It depends on what you compare it to. So if I could give it some context, you guys seen the interior of the Cheapokitty. I would give Cheapokitty probably a 6.75 or 6.5, somewhere around there. I'm reserving like the really high numbers for those like luxury cars. Like my Porsche, I would give that interior a strong 8.5, close to 9. And then, you know, besides that, you know, you got like the Maybach or the Rolls Royce, which is, those are 10 out of 10 interiors. One of my favorite parts about the interior on this car has to be the shifters, the shift paddles. I love the big aluminum shift paddles that Maserati puts. Makes it a lot of fun, man. All of that like combined together, between the materials being nice, the layout being really good looking, the use of the entertainment system being really good, the shifter paddles, it all adds to like the driver feedback and the experience that you get when driving this car. So I would actually say Maserati, you know, good job on this one. Good job on this one. I'll end it off there. Now let's talk performance. 404 horsepower is in the SQ4 models, which this one is. It's meaning that it's the all-wheel drive version of the car. You're not setting the world on fire with 404 horsepower, but you're also not feeling like you're in a slow car by any means. The power delivery of this car is, it feels torquey. Like when the turbo hit, you can feel like the push. I would say it kind of leans out as it gets toward the top of the rev range. I would actually describe it as having like a real fat midsection. So like down low, there's not much. Up high, there's not much. But right in that midsection, like where you're gonna stay most of the time, and that's between like that 2,500, I would say, to about 5,000 RPM range. This car has a nice shove, a nice push, and it accelerates nicely. Is it the fastest thing? Is it the fastest in its class? Absolutely not. But it's pretty good for what it is. Could there be more? Yeah, sure. I mean, you know how I feel about horsepower. I got a 700 horsepower car. But that being said, overall, I could appreciate how this car drives as far as the acceleration and the feel and delivery of power. So the other conversation is, when you talk about performance, is handling. In the handling department, the car is pretty decent. You set it into a corner, it sits there, it holds, it moves through, it maneuvers well. But at times, like, the ride quality feels a little stiff, but then in the handling, it feels a little soft. Eugene had a set of KW, their HAS system, installed on the car in order to stiffen the car up. But also the ride quality is pretty good too. Installing this suspension actually did two things. It helped with overall ride quality. Feels good. It feels more German now. It feels tighter. Handling also feels better. I made some maneuvers just now while testing the car that I felt confident. I felt like the car is gonna stick, and it feels stronger than it did before, or tighter. But it also did another thing, which was reduce wheel gap, which this car has tons of wheel gap. The other category of performance that this car has in leaps and bounds is sound. Sound. It's one of the best V6 twin turbos I've ever heard, point blank, period. And last but not least, let's talk about the exterior. This is all subjective. This is all beauty is in the eye of its beholder, right? I think that the Ghibli is a very nice looking car. Stock, they could look a little boring, especially if you get like the one that's the least special with the little tiny 18-inch wheels that it comes with. Yeah, not so great. Subjective and all, what I will tell you is people, like regular people, like the way this car looks. Especially the model like this, the SQ4 with the 20-inch wheels, brand new looking, clean, icy. Like, people like, nice car. And especially with the things Eugene have done. Mario powder coated the wheels, gloss black, they look amazing. We added the wheel spacer kit from Formula Dynamics that gets the wheels right nice to the fenders. We went with a slightly larger tire as well. I believe it comes, I think the car comes with like a 255. We changed it to like a 265. The car has an awesome carbon fiber rear spoiler that sits right on the deck. Really simple, really clean, following the body lines of the car. I like that rear spoiler. It's real cool, right? The weave looks good in the sunlight. Another thing I forgot to mention that's really important about what makes this car look so good is it comes with these black plastic bottoms on the side and the rear. So what we did was we removed those. Mario sanded those down. Mario from Performance, of course, sanded those down and painted them white to match the car. It does so much for the cleanliness and how nice this car looks. It really adds to it. So the painted bottoms for me is a must. It makes the diffuser look better. It makes the side skirts look better. Everything just looks better with the painted bottoms. It really finishes it. And I noticed that for the 2019 models, the new cars that are just done, the refresh ones, they have painted bottoms. So it's a reason it looks good, and we did it to this one. You know, all in all, man, with the accents that we just did, the car just came together so nicely. It's so clean looking. This type of modifications is what I would call OEM plus, meaning that it kept all the dynamics of the OEM, but just enhanced it a lot. So this car has been getting a lot of attention all day, thumbs up all day, people telling me nice. And that's coming from men, women, and children. I give this car a really good like salute. Like, it's a nice joint. The thing is, $80,000. $80,000 is a lot of money. Like, you can get, I guess, a lot of other used cars, but in this area, I guess I gotta ask myself its competitors. And when I look at its competitors, you gotta figure its competitors are like the most fully loaded BMW 550 Sport. You have the E-Class, its V8 model, and, you know, other cars in that same realm and spectrum as far as price goes. And it all depends on what you want, what you're looking for in a car. Is the BMW and Mercedes more value for the dollar? Maybe, probably. I would probably say so. They're faster. They probably have more options standard. And, you know, blind spot detection this car doesn't have. You know, a couple little things it doesn't have that those cars are definitely going to have. More updated technology they're going to have as well. But if what you're looking for in a car is just an overall of, I guess, kind of like, hey, I made it. Mercedes and BMW, yes, it does look like you made it. You're doing well for yourself. But when you say Maserati, people actually like, wow, you drive a Maserati. So I don't know how much value you put on that in your cars, but for a lot of people, that holds a lot of weight. That just leaves to answer the question, if it were my money, what would I do? Would I choose this car over its competitors? And you know what? The 2014 model, probably not. But this 2017 model and the new ones that they just refreshed the car too. Yes, I would pick this car over its competitors, even if for nothing else, because it gives me a sense of an occasion between the sound, between the response from people. This is the baby Maserati, but you're still in the Maserati. But if you have a C-Class or a 3 Series or, you know, I don't know, an Audi, there are cars that everybody has. You see them everywhere, wherever you go. So even if you have the $80,000 Mercedes or BMW, you look like the guy that's in the base model of that same car. Or, you know, the guy that has the CLA is like, yeah, we in the same boat. Can't do that when you're in the baby Maserati. It's only up from there. So the perception is much higher. The other question is, would you buy a car like this, meaning finance it, used, out of warranty? No way. It's too new. We don't have enough history to know. But would I lease it? Hell yeah. A little 2-3 year lease, can't go wrong with that. And you in a Maserati for 2 to 3 years. I mean, hey, that's not bad. So anyway, that pretty much wraps up how I feel about the Maserati Ghibli as it relates to the 2017 and newer models. I hope you like this style of video. It's a little bit different. than what I usually do. Just trying a couple of different things to see what you guys like the most. Do me a favor, jump down in the comments and let me know, yeah, Steph, I like this more review style format than just what I usually do is just kind of hanging out, and the car is there too. It's part of the day. But this was actually more review style. The cool thing is this car is in the family, so it's going to be with us. For an example, this car will be racing at Mod2Fame Fest at Cecil County Dragway. If you guys want to see like how it stacks up against some of its competitors, I'm pretty sure there are other YouTubers of similar power, similar weight, that it'll be pretty fun to see how this car does in a quarter-mile drag race and a quarter-mile roll race that day. So jump down right now, go to the link at the bottom in the description that says mod2fame.com/events/Mod2Fame Fest and get your tickets now. It's never too early, but it could definitely be too late. So go ahead over and do that now. But if you like this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Also, don't forget to join the M2Fers at mod2fame.com. It's your boy Stephen here from Mod2Fame, and in this Maserati, we out.